Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Director's Garage Live Hump Day Happy Hour Hangout here in Studio City, California. Woohoo! We're live. Let me get off the... There's a picture. There's a picture. Well, I've got no agenda for this. Is a Meze Elites. I've got not much to talk about today as far as agenda, but we do have in our, what am I going to say? Sorry, I was working up until the very, very last second before I went on the air today. I don't have anything really planned for today because I was working on the show until yesterday when I uploaded and, you got the new episode. And then right away, I turned around and I shot the next episode, which was a viewer's choice. A viewer's choice is the next episode. And it was a Patreon member has subscribed at a certain level where you can get some voting rights. And I turned it over to him. It was Marcus's choice. So if you don't like the next episode, blame Marcus. What a day. So yeah, I'm a little scrambled because I was writing, guys know I write a lot of obits when I'm not shooting. I was writing another obit. So I've just been lost in like all of this footage, up until we went to air. Holly's around here somewhere, and I didn't get any viewer photos this week. There's no new like headphones out that I found that I was like interested to talk about. I did some listening last night because I've got the next episode is well, I don't know if I want to give that away or not. But it's so cool. Really good episode coming up next. I already shot it, and it's already laid out. I just have to B-roll it. It'll be out next Tuesday. I don't see why it won't get done and on time in a timely manner. And I've got the ZLHM1 review. That's been like weeks writing. That's all done. I just have to shoot it and get it put together. But yeah, I don't have anything. I did buy a headphone this week, something cheap but fun and something I can't wait to check out, but it's not released yet. It's in pre-release, so I did some pre-order stuff. Just not much else happening. I wish I had like there's no agenda this week. So write in the chat anything you guys want to talk about, and we'll talk about that. The one thing that I did enjoy of that episode yesterday, I think there was some takeaway, is we finally had a serious discussion about gain versus power. And I think that's something I hope that people can take away and like get that, because the biggest mistake I've been seeing is, I watched a couple of reviews in the last week. I won't say who, but the guy said, I turned up the gain and went to town on this. And I'm like, why would you do that? You're adding all this bad stuff to the signal by turning up the gain. Don't turn up the gain, turn up the power. Use a more powerful amp, or use, like different way to do that. But that's just my philosophy on doing stuff, and it doesn't make me right or the other person wrong. It's everybody's got their own philosophy of how they approach this stuff, I guess. I also don't like putting a bunch of components together in a signal path. I don't believe in that. I think the least amount of equipment you put between the source and the final output, which is your headphone, the better. Because all this other stuff is going to, you introduce all sorts of opportunities to show noise, to introduce complications to your signal, to degrade it, to do all sorts of stuff. So I think that people have the the idea of, oh, I can put it through this and it'll process it and give me and I'm like, my philosophy is always less is more in that arena. So we can talk about that if you want. Oh, if you have pictures to send in, Mr. Dynamite down there, you can do so at this address right here, directorsgarage@gmail.com. That is that's the email for the show. It's an email that I just pops up on my phone when people send me stuff. But yeah, I didn't get anything this week in terms of that, and I didn't. Last week I showed off some folks who I think they sent me stuff. Cheers, everybody. It's Wednesday. I mean, we ought to be just celebrating that, right? Waiting for the rain to come in again. We got more rain on the way to LA. Aurora's Audio in the house reviewed their lovely 2 headphones a couple weeks back. And we did the iFi review. And the one thing I would say about the iFi reviews, I did talk a little bit about the gain versus power situation and the differences between those. But I would also say some people wrote in the comments below that iFi is, I don't want to misphrase it. Let me double check what the word was. So he's using it was a negative word, and I wanted to clear that up. Let me double check just what that was. This will take a second. Sorry. Gotta look it up. Okay, comments. Here we go. Comments. I haven't responded. I want to see all the comments. Somebody wrote, "Oh, it's a nightmare of a device." People are using a couple of folks wrote comments saying it was a nightmare, and I want to. Okay, that's somebody else's YouTube. I think nightmare is the wrong word. I wouldn't call it a nightmare, because to me a nightmare device is a device that doesn't sound good, and it doesn't work right, and it doesn't, it can't deliver you a good experience at all. That's a nightmare device. Or you can't figure out how to hook it up, or you can't, and that wasn't my experience with the iFi. I think it's like all audio devices have compromises, are compromises. But this one, the problem is that it's a $3,250 device with compromises. So does that make it bad? Well, it doesn't make it bad. It actually, there are things about that device, which is sitting in a box down there waiting to get the return address for it. But it doesn't make it a bad product. It's actually a pretty good product for certain use cases. But at the same time, I can't ignore price. And sitting at $3,250, I have to look at what else is out there for that money. And for me, I'm like, it has too many compromises for that price point. That's the point that I wanted to get across, is that the iFi, it's the Pro IDSD signature. It's the worst. I want them to work on that stuff. And if you can even throw a USB on the end of it, if you believe the label on the thing. But I don't want to understate. I don't want to overstate, and I don't want to understate. So it's like, is it a nightmare device? No, absolutely not. Because if you're using AirPlay, if you're using a USB input to it straight, pretty good. And even like the one case with the MQA where I was getting skipping, I did have 2 sessions, and I did that in a crawl because it was after I had finished shooting this thing. I had a couple of sessions. They weren't consistent, but I did have a couple of sessions where it didn't skip at all. But I did have a couple of sessions where it did skip. So I'm like, and I'm talking about playback under MQA through Roon. Anytime I went straight through the Tidal app, it was perfect. So I had good situations. I had some good, and it sounded pretty good. A little underpowered, but good. Like good to great in some situations. So I just don't want to like shoehorn everything into, be negative. It's too easy to go, oh, that's terrible, that sucks, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't feel that way. I felt like it was a device with compromises, and from my perspective, too many compromises for that price. When you've got really good products out there at the same price that have fewer compromises, you know? So, and I listed a bunch of them in the episode, and you know, who doesn't want to try that Eversolo, you know, the R8, that, or is the R8? It's the Eversolo something 8, Q8. so many letters. I think I'm thinking of the FiO R9 and the R7, but there's another 2 other boxes that are just great, and they're $1,000 plus less, $1,200 plus less, really. And for $1,200, you can get yourself into a heck of an amplifier on top of that beautiful streamer. So you get the same functionality, if not more, plus you get a touch screen, and, you know, to me, I'm like, there's too many other good things out there for that kind of money. And the amp stage in the thing, despite it being a tube pre, having that option, which is nice, and sounded good, but it's underpowered. Like, you can't drive everything with it. And more on that in the next episode. Got more coming up. God, I got a good show coming up next one. Next one's going to be awesome. So that was my point with the iFi. I thought it was a good device. At times, a very good device, and at times it sounded great. But then I went into some of the things that I wanted to do with it, and I couldn't. And I was hesitant. I was like, maybe I should call iFi and try and get some tips or something, and see if I could. But at the same time, I'm kind of on your side of the fence. I don't consider myself a reviewer. I consider myself an enthusiast. So I'm not like these guys who do this for a living, and I don't write articles. And although I did write some stuff in the past, but I'm more of an enthusiast. I'm kind of on your side. I'm like, I'm the guy that's going to buy it and use it. That's how I kind of think of, and like, what's it like to use, and what does it sound like? So I also want to keep some degree of reality in there. Like, this is what somebody's going to experience who goes out and purchases it. Because they're going to open the box, they're going to go ooh and ah, and boy does this thing look great, and boy did it look great, and it's got, you know, you want to run through the features and see what it can do, and see how it can, and then you start running into stuff that's maybe not working as well as it could or should, and then that's the stuff that I think is worth telling you all about, because that's the experience you might have if you purchase this thing. So, you know, you weigh how to do it and what the best way to do things are, and I just made my best guess on it and showed you all what I came up with. So if you guys are tuning in late, I have no agenda today. I have nothing to report. We don't have new stuff, unless Ryan's in the audience. Ryan, do you have any new headphones for me to announce? Because I'm a little light on news this week. I can talk about last week's episode, and we can talk about anything you want in the chat. If you want to talk about amps and gain and anything you bought this week. I did buy something. I don't want to necessarily give that away because it's going to be a future episode. But I've got a box from ZMF coming this week. That's exciting. Super excited about that. We'll see what is coming our way there. I got a hunch I know what it is, but I don't really. So that'll be fun. That's coming up. That'll be in a future episode. Got a lot of future stuff. I'm just starting to plan things out. Now that I've got the taxes out the door, I've been able to focus on the show. The one thing I have to do is I have to get back on HeadFi, because I've had some people asking about some of the gear that I've had for sale here. For instance, the Clark Audio Expanse, which has been, I've had it listed at $3,200 with a cable, with a special cable, and I may drop that to just $25 and pull the cable out, because I had a couple of guys who were interested in it if they didn't have to buy the fancy cable. But I was kind of like, I want to sell it as a package because it matches, and now I've got another use case for it, potentially. And I always forget the guy's name over at Norn told me that he could terminate it with something else that could be useful for me. So there's a lot of options. I want to roll that out the door. I'm still on the fence about the Bakoon. I've had there's a guy who, and I got to reconnect with this guy because I feel bad. It's been weeks, but I just haven't been on HeadFi. Every now and then I see an email flow through that say, "Hey, I'm interested in this," and I'm like, I just don't have time to deal with you right now because I had taxes, I had award shows, I had to get my next episode out, which took forever. The reason that episode took longer than I thought, other than the stuff that was going on in my life that made me not allow me to focus on it, is that I needed to show you guys the software I was using and what was going wrong with that. And to do that, my way of doing it, I'm sure there's probably easier ways to do it, but I do a bunch of screen recordings. And first of all, I had to learn how to do a screen recording on an iPad. And I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I've never had to make a screen recording on an iPad. Turns out it's in the software. It's not that hard to do. You just had to know where to go and how to turn it on. And then I had to take all of that footage and get it into the system and then process it and get it so that my editor could use it. There was a lot of that stuff going on in the last episode because if you look back and if you look at last episode, it will you'll see there's just a lot of software pages, and all of that is screen recording. So I had to take out the time and get it to, and then get it in the right format. And then there's a couple where my account name is in the corner. I'm like, I don't put my account name for title out on the internet. I don't think that's a good idea. Lots of stuff like that. So it just took a longer time to do the B-roll on that episode to cover all of my jump cuts. Because I had to piece it together because I'm doing so much. There was so much technical talk in that last episode. It was really something. It was a lot of fun. Trevor at Norn. Thank you, Trevor. Cheers, Trevor. I hope your ears are burning wherever you are. That's a guy that I want to get on either this show or on the Hangover show, the Patreon show. I already started thinking about the next Patreon show, and Gene out there. Gene, you emailed me about possibly some ideas, and that's great too. And I've got somebody in mind for the next episode. I just don't know if they can make it. And we're probably a few weeks out still because it's still the 27th. So probably about a week and a half before I'm gonna think about it. I'm probably gonna go the second weekend in April for the next Hangout. Ish. See a calendar real quick. What does the calendar look like? Ooh, let's see. I don't want to do Easter Sunday. That's going to be a problem for everybody. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll be the 6th or the 13th. It just depends on how it all falls. Could be the 6th, but I could also do the 13th. Either way. I've got some doctor's appointments and stuff coming up too. I got to get it's for the shoulder. Shoulder's doing better though, boys. They put me on. Let's see, make sure there's no. They put me on giant horse pills. These are. I wish this was straight Oxycontin or codeine, but it's not. It's just ibuprofen. Huge doses of ibuprofen to get the swelling down the shoulder, and it's helped. I can do this kind of for the first time in a long while, and I'm still icing it and doing, the hemp stuff that you guys recommended, but it's getting over. Anyway, that's coming up too. So I got to kind of work the next Hangout around those doctor's things. I'm guessing it's probably going to be the 6th if I can make it work, but I just have to make sure the guests can make it, but Gene, you had some great ideas for that stuff. So I'll address that if I can't get my guys, but keep your guys in the loop because we'll get them on. I don't care. It's my whole thing with the Zoom show is to get everybody face to face and talking and get us out of this. I don't like the Discord on the online chatting. Because there seems to be like a group takedown thing going on. And cheers, everybody, to no group takedowns. You know, where it's like one guy will write something and he means something a certain way and the other guy doesn't take it right, so he just jumps all over the guy. And I'm like, when you're face to face and you're having a conversation, you understand people's meanings a lot better. And I'm all about connecting us and getting us talking and sharing interests and passions and stuff, as opposed to you said this and it's this minus 2.2%, you know, whatever it is. It's ridiculous. Cheers, everyone. I hope you're doing well on a Wednesday. Like I said, I've been a lot of work this week, and then getting the episode out, and then I shot the next episode already and cut it. Did a basic A-roll last night. I rarely get to move that fast on them. So that leaves me in good shape for getting the next episode out on time, which would be next Tuesday. Because I'm going to try and appease the YouTube gods wherever I can. Wow, what's going on in my head? But let's get to some chat. It's 3:50 in LA right now, so we're on 20 minutes. Let's check out the chat. Hello, everybody, says Mr. Dynamite. Cheers, Mr. Dynamite. Cheers to Aurora Audio. Everybody raise a glass to them for providing us with content for an episode. That's awesome. Mr. Dynamite, what is the email address I will send my new pics to? Change gears again. Yeah, everybody does, man. And I'm at that stage here because now that taxes are done, I'm still sort of bracing for impact because I think we're going to owe a lot of money that's going to be kind of. So I'm not spending money on anything that costs money, right? And it costs real money. But I am contemplating my next moves because chances are that Bakoon back there may be going. I would like to move the STAX. I'm just not using the STAX SRX 9000. As good as that headphone and as pure as that headphone sounds, I almost pulled it out the other day. But I'm just not using it. And if I'm not using it, why am I keeping it here? It's just sitting on a shelf losing money, depreciating. And it should be in somebody's head, and somebody should be enjoying it. So trying to move that along. And yeah, it's just random thoughts that go to my head. I got to get back into the head-fi of it because head-fi is where I wind up selling most of my stuff, and I haven't even logged on to head-fi in a long time, and I try to do that. I try to keep up on what's going on in the headphone world and what people are talking about, just for the purposes of this show, so I can comment on things as they come up. But yeah, Dickster, let a rip tater chip. We're ripping. Mr. Dynamite, I am Jay. Welcome. Ryan Dietz, of course, welcome, as always. And Ryan has nothing new to talk about on his end yet. Ryan, let me know. How's production going, Ryan? Are you still cranking out the tungstens on a daily basis? Is it consuming all of your time? How's production going? I have a few thousand people that probably want to know. They all have orders in. I'm sorry, man. Didn't want to put you on the spot. Mr. Dynamite says he bought an Audio GD, I think they call that Audio God Master 19 amp. Loves it. Let's look it up. Let's go to the tail of the tape. I gotta find my laptop. Hang on. Take me a few seconds. Well, there we go. Let's make this a thing. And we'll go to it. Nope. Now we will. Audio GD. Sorry, I'm typing with one finger. I'm a faster typist, I swear. Master 19. Oh, look at this thing. Woo! Really? You bought this, did you, Mr. Dynamite? Well, that lives up to the name. Damn, that's nice. Wow. Wow, check that out. That's awesome. Let's see oh, there's the uncovered. If only Ken were here, he could tell us what all this shit does. Major capacitors in there. Wow. Killer stuff. That's a killer piece of gear. I don't know a lot about them. I don't know a lot about Audio God. I just seem to use the same font as Headamp, though. It's the same as the Blue Hawaii or whatever font. But really cool. Really cool. Nice stuff, man. Nice stuff. Goodbye. Is this going to cost me an arm and a leg? No, not bad. Is that $800? That's $900? Damn, and to get a nice remote? Okay, count me in. I can get on board with that. Man, that's a good purchase. Well, congratulations, Mr. Dynamite. That's a good purchase, man. Looks awesome. Ryan D says, getting barbecue for dinner. Does that count as news? Hey, man, barbecue is always news. You know what I've been getting into with the barbecue? I've been facing this dilemma in my barbecue situation, guys. Last summer, Trader Joe's is a kind of an LA thing, I think. I don't think they're all everywhere. They're not all over the country, but it's it's kind of a boutique grocery store. They kind of do their own thing. And in the summer last year, they did this thing called Carolina Barbecue Gold stuff. So they had Carolina Gold barbecue potato chips, which were crazy good. And then they also had bottles of Carolina Gold barbecue sauce you could buy. Well, I discovered that I really love this stuff. So I bought like a couple of 2, 3, maybe 4 bottles of it just to throw on the shelf. Well, I'm down to my last bottle, and I'm trying to make it last to this next summer season, because then it'll come back. I'm hoping, if Trader Joe's does Trader Joe's things. And I can buy more of this stuff, but next time it's available, I'm gonna have to buy a case, because I love this Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. And I've tried other Carolina Golds. I've tried 2 other manufacturers, and had it shipped from Amazon. Like Amazon, you can go on there and type Carolina Gold barbecue. So I bought 2 other Carolina Gold barbecue sauces, and one is kind of more of a mustard based. And I wound up subbing it for mustard on my veggie burgers, and it's really good. It's a really good dressing for veggie burgers. Because I've been experimenting. I know this is you guys are gonna go, you're not from Chicago. I've been experimenting with a more vegetarian oriented, not vegan, but vegetarian oriented diet. And that means I'm down to very little meats in my diet. And that's just really good for my cholesterol. It's really good for other things. So I had a whole party last summer where I bought every different type of veggie type burger. I bought like Garden Burger, and I bought Beyond, and I bought Impossible, all these things, and I cooked them all up in different things, and I had everybody do a taste test, and we all came to the consensus that the Beyond Burger was the way to go, and the Impossible was the best for like bratwurst and sausage and that kind of thing. So anyway, so I've been using the Beyond Burgers instead of normal turkey burgers, which is what I switched to back when I had my first cholesterol problem. I've actually been subbing with the such a rat hole for of a show. But anyway, I've been subbing that in, and the thing that really dresses it up and makes it taste great is this Carolina mustard barbecue sauce. But I'm waiting for Trader Joe's to come back with the Carolina Gold, because it's going to be his thing. It's going to be a huge thing if I get that stuff back. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go, yes, please, I'll take your shelf. And they're going to be, wait, no, wait. And I'm going to, no, the whole shelf. It's in the cart right now. But sir, I don't care. I need to fill my fill up. So fun. So anyway, that's where I'm at with barbecue. Ryan Dietz. I've been avoiding the meats. I've been really good about staying more veggie lately. A little bit here and there. I'll still have turkey a little bit and some chicken and some other things, but I've been really cutting all that stuff out of my diet for the most part. It's been pretty good. I'm trying to lose some weight too, get the weight down, because that's only going to help everything, including the shoulder. All right, I'm Jay. Barbecue sounds nice. Yes, sir. Neil Snyder, excited. He's got a tungsten coming. Will arrive shortly after he dies. Guys, the next episode, I'm telling you, wait, I'm so excited about this next episode. It's so good. So good. It's a headphone. I'll give you that. It's a headphone. Okay. Which probably just gave away what I was doing. Anyway, okay, Wamla GS coming shortly. And that ties, Neil, that's smart, because that ties into what I did with the iFi review yesterday. Which is to say, yeah, it's good, but when you can put together for the price of, you can't get the Hypsos, which is the power supply, the fancy power supply, but you could put together the Ferrum amp, the OR, and the Wanla for the price of the iFi. Now, and I think you'd be in this, you'd be better sonically, you'd be better off sonically, and have more power to drive your tougher stuff. And that was the whole point of the whole of that whole review, is like, it's really good, but it's what can you get also for that $3,200 that maybe doesn't have some of the compromises that I was running into. And that certainly is one of the solutions. I also think you can get into some pretty nice, you can get the Burson, get into that conductor, which has got the DAC, the whole thing built into it too. But then, the point that I was trying to make at the end of that episode is that the nature of these all-in-one boxes is changing. Let's turn that off. The nature of those all-in-one streaming boxes is changing dramatically, because they're now integrating software with them. And this is the DCS back here is one avenue that I would say, true. Very expensive way to go, by the way, is the DCS. But when you have things like the FiO R9, which is a gorgeous, you guys have seen this, right? FiO R9. I'm going to type that up real quick. Let's get it up here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, FiO R9. Look at this. Look at this thing. That's amazing. Like, that's so forward. That's so forward thinking. This is next level. This is where it should be heading. Into, you've got your apps on the home screen. It's running on Android. You've got, this is smart. This is smart. This is smart thinking on FiO's part. I know what it sounds like. But look at this thing. Look at what you get. It's doing all the things. It's doing all the things in one box. That's a frickin' treat to operate. Like, it's so fun. It's so fun. You could put iTunes, you could put anything you want on this thing. Put your PlayStation on it. It's just smart. And then you look at what the other box was, what the iFi box was, and it's like, it's just an interface on the front end. And between that, I just think it's the possibilities and what you can get in an all-in-one, and what we can expect, or what we should expect maybe from an all-in-one DAC streamer amp, it's got the bar's been moved. The bar's been moved. It's not in. You've got to bring more to the table than some knobs and some switches. at this point, and say you're going to control it from your desktop, from your computer, because that requires me needing a computer. These new boxes, Ever Solo, I'll show you that one too while we're at it, because we were talking about this and I think I showed this last week too, but whatever, I don't care. I just want to, come on now, Ever Solo A8, that's what I was getting wrong. Look at this, look at this, look at this thing, right? Oh, this doesn't have all the pictures loaded yet. We got to get the pictures in there. Look at this box. You know, this is what you should expect from an all-in-one now. This is what I expect from an all-in-one. I think that's this. It's reasonable to want these things. You know, a box that has a nice touch screen that you don't need any outboard computers, laptops, iPads, whatever to control. You can do it all from within the device, or you can use an app or something. And it's they're delivering quality, you know, a quality audio experience as well. But DSD, PCM, MQA, all of it just does it, handles it, just like and that's the hallmark that iFi has pioneered, I think, to this point. It's just other people, I think, are catching up now. One of the things that I loved about the iFi devices, and still love about them, is that they can handle any format, anything. They can do it all, and you just feed it whatever, and it'll figure out how to decode it and make it into nice music. But you got to do more than that now, I think, in these all-in-ones. Anyway, is that a rat hole? How'd I get there? Oh, Wandland, yes, that's where it came from. Using HQ Player through Chord, Dave. Wow. Yep, I use the HQ Player on Roon for controlling the DCS. It's the way to go, for sure. I agree with you, Neil. Have you tried that PGGB? What is PGGB? Okay. Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. Aperio is tugging at me. Yes. And I still haven't gotten into that yet. That's a whole other realm. Group of Dave users who created a package that does what the M-Scaler does, but much, much better. That's interesting. That's interesting. So it's an upscaler. And that's the one thing that I would say about the iFi box, that, you know, if you're into it, it does do upscaling internally. So you have that option. But so does all these boxes do now. And, you know, you can get the M-Scaler for the Chord. The DCS does internal upscaling if you want it to. There's all sorts of stuff. Okay. Neil, best 8 or 10 outlet power strip with some power conditioning must stand vertically. I don't know. I have the hell's this thing called down there? I don't know. It's like I have like a basic power strip that's got some conditioning in it. It's the one that everybody. What the heck is it called? I gotta go. I got. It's just audio. It's just straight production gear. So if I go to Sweetwater, I can figure out what the heck it is. Power. No, I don't. I'm not interested in your giveaway. Power. Furman. I have a Furman, but it sits on the ground. It doesn't stand up. So I don't know if that, but they do make a desktop power conditioner too, looks like. Furman is kind of like the OG. If you're doing audio production at home, most people have Furmans in their racks. They do basic power conditioning, nothing fancy. It's not going to, do something that the $500 units do. I mean, that they're made to be affordable, but not ineffective, So yeah, I have a couple of Furman things here that kind of do most of the power here. And then I just have a couple stuff on power strips because I don't know. Gene says, I use a combination of PGGB and HQP, but if you had the Dave, PGGB would be the solution for upscaling, I'm guessing. Love Trader Joe's. Some love for Trader Joe's. Cheers, I'll drink to that. Interesting discussion so far. Juan Chicod. Juan, welcome to the show. Cheers, everybody. Raise a glass to Juan. It's a new name, and Juan, the way this works around here is we raise a glass to anybody who's coming new, just to welcome you and say hello. So welcome to the craziness that is the Director's Garage Humpday Happy Hour Hangout. And glad you could join us. That's great. Did you hear about dual mono flux Mentor amp? No. I don't know. For $3,000, sure, the stack drives tungsten Sesfara better than $10,000 amps. Sound News uploaded a video about this dual mono amp stack. I'll have to look into it. And this is sort of feeding into. I don't know that a $3,000 amp is going to necessarily drive something better than a $10,000 amp, because there's a lot of variables in there that make the thing $10,000. It's the quality of the internal components. There's a lot going on inside of these amps. So I'm a little skeptical when somebody says, I've got a $3,000 amp that will sound better than a $10,000 amp. I'd want to know more. I'd have to look into it more. So I like, that makes me go, because they got to be doing it somehow. You know, it's not magic. The parts cost money, and they got to make a profit. So how are they doing it? And because amp technology is pretty much the same as it was 30 years ago. Like there's no new stuff in the amp. I mean, these people are doing the exact same thing, just trying to figure out how to do it better with better components. So dual mono amps, so it means it's got a separate amp for each channel. And most of these higher quality amps separate the left and right into discrete channels. So you're kind of getting that already in a lot of this gear. The other issue is, are they doing how are they driving a tungsten? Is it being done through gain, or is it being done through power? What's the power output of that amp? I don't know, and I don't want to, I'm afraid to jump into this. This is going to be a major side distraction. Something I want to do offline and then come back and talk about it, so I can have some stuff prepped. Because I'm going to be too on the fly learning about it now, and I can't say. But you got to know the specs of the amp. What is the amp output, and how does that compare, and how is it doing it? For instance, this Bakoon back here is a really good, powerful 25 watt per channel or 25 watts into 8 ohm amp. The Enlium, which is the successor to this, has the same power rating, but the Enlium is using bigger capacitors, so it has more power on reserve as a headphone calls for it. And that gives the Enlium a different quality than, say, the Bakoon amp. It seems to slam more with a headphone like Sesfara. It was helping that Sesfara, and in some cases not helping some other headphones I was putting on it. But in the case of Sesfara, it helped it a great deal, because it had these massive capacitors sitting in it that were holding power until the circuit called for it. So you got to look at all of that stuff before you can just say, well, it's a better amp. There's a lot going on there. But it's an interesting tech, and if you heard it and you think it's outperforming something you heard at 10 grand, well, cheers to you. You can go have at it. I'll drink to that. But I always want to, put an asterisk by some, like what do we know for sure, Howdy, gents. Hipster Kyle. Hipster Kyle, thanks for stopping by today, man. Cheers. Always welcome, brother. Always enjoy what you add to the conversation. The fact Eversolo lets you put a solid-state drive inside to store music directly onto, to rip CDs onto directly also makes it incredible. Yeah, and a couple of these things, and even the iFi allows you to put in a memory stick. And these memory cards are so fast now that, in fact, I have one of them. Right, here's one of them right here. This is just a memory card in a case, SSD card in a case from SanDisk. And I use these in my car because this is 4 terabytes. You know how much music you can get into 4 terabytes? You download a really sizable collection in high-res rips into this little thing, and this just plugs right into my car, and I can play music off of it, and it sounds fantastic. You know, it's an outstanding source. But yeah, and a lot of I can put I can drape a drive off of the DCS as well. And that's what I bought this for. I just haven't figured out what format it wants me to do, and I got sidetracked and I never got back to it. And honestly, it's so easy to stream through Roon anyway. I'm like, well, it's an idea that I would love to pursue when the need arises. I just don't have the need right now. IMJ says he's been using the DMP-A6. It's a great unit. Yeah, that's the predecessor. It's fantastic. That got huge reviews. Just being used as a streamer has been really enjoying it. Absolutely. And everybody, that's Eversolo stuff is something I want in here. I would love to get one. It's kind of on the redundant side, so it's kind of a lower priority because I do have the DCS, which is in the same territory without the fancy graphics. But there is a really good app for my iPad that I can use with the DCS. But in the end of the day, I'm wind up using Roon anyway because it's got so much contextual depth to the music. I love Roon, and I've been using it so much. I just enjoy it. But I am tempted by that $4.99 box we looked at last week to have an outboard Roon, the nucleus, they call it, somewhere in my house to stream to all my Roon devices. There you go. Harry Chan. Cheers, Harry. Welcome to Wednesday. How you doing? I know you have owned both the Ferrum Ore and the Bakoon 13R before. Do you think it's worth the upgrade from the Ore to the 13R? Headphone dependent, Harry. That's what I would say. Headphone dependent. The Bakoon gives you more punch to drive really difficult headphones. So the Bakoon is going to help something like the Mod House. The Bakoon will help the Mod House out the Ferrum. The benefit of the Ferrum Ore is that if you put the Wandla in front of it, you can get more out of the Ore because the Wandla will allow you to push the output signal to 9 volts out of your DAC. So, and the Ferrum Ore sounds really good too. The Bakoon has more like visceral punch to it, not as much punch as the Enlium for sure. But the Ferrum is a very clean setup. I love that Ore thing, and I think that the Ore the best thing I paired with the Ore might be the Abyss 1266. I thought that pairing was amazing. So if you gain stage the Ore, you don't need the 13R's power, but the 13R is nice. I mean, it's just it's all different shades. It's just a punchier amp. The Ore is a more cleaner, maybe more even amp. Both have benefits. They're both good. So good. Ryan says his wife is a vegetarian and he was vegan for 2 years, so he understands. Yeah, I don't know. I can't bite full vegan, man. Because I like cheese and I like eggs. So I'm not willing to go full vegan, but the vegetarian thing is an angle that I'm seriously playing with. I'm like probably 80 to 90% vegetarian right now, and it's not that I, you know, do what you want with your life. It's just my body needs to take a break from meats for a while, because the cholesterol that it was generating and building up in my system was going to kill me. Hipster Cow says he thinks he sold the OR for the X9000. He did a swap. Guessing his response will be, it depends on what you're driving. Yeah. And I think Hipster Cow, you're right. You're right with that. The X9000, I think I'm trying to sell. And I just haven't got, nobody's been willing to pay the price for it. I'm asking $5 for it. I think that's around what it's going for, maybe 48. I don't know. But I'm trying to sell my SRX 9000 because I think I've just done what I can do right now in the electrostatic space, and seeing that the Director's Garage is now on a budget as opposed to can limitlessly spend, I've got to free up cash to do other things, and I'll see what sells, and then I'll move in a direction that catches wind in the sales. I still have the Carbon here. The market on the Carbon has just fallen out. It's worth a fraction of what I paid for it. Like $2,000 will get you a Carbon right now. That's the Audeze Carbon electrostatic, and it's still a phenomenal headphone, even though it pops when you put it on. Once you get past the popping of it, the sound of that headphone and the comfort of that headphone are amazing. It's just got that STAX farting situation going on. So, but the sound of it's amazing. So I'm like, I could do, and I still have the SRX 007 Mark I. If I want to really play with electrostatics, I've got two good electrostatics. I just don't think I need the SRX 9000, and it's a lot of capital sitting in one headphone. So I'm hoping I can get about $5 for that headphone, and it's, you know, wooden box, whole thing. You guys saw the unboxing, 2 cables. I just got to find somebody who's interested in it and really wants to hear that headphone, because it is amazing. It's just I'm not using it, and if I'm not using it, why is it sitting? You know, I don't want to leave it in a box on a shelf. I'd rather put that money toward an amp shootout, or, you know, something else. You know, whatever that is. Could be good. Cord coming out with new M scaler somewhere in the $20,000 range. I think Cord we're heading into a major product cycle for them. I think we're closing in on the Hugo 3. We're closing in on the Hugo TT3. We're closing in on the M Scaler 2, and probably, I can't believe they haven't done any upgrades on the Dave since that Dave is so long in the tooth. I'm sure it's still great, but I got to think that they've moved the bar quite a bit since the Dave came out. That's a DAC that's been around for a long time right now, and could use a refresh, I would think. And why they don't build the M Scaler into the Dave, you know, make it a super DAC. That's what I would hope that Cord would do, because, you know, they're smart. I don't know. Maybe they think that they can sell more units if they have multiple units that cost less. I don't know. But, you know, a lot of these devices are building the upsampling right into the DAC box now. I would like to see Cord try that. It'd be interesting anyway, from my end. To my way of thinking, but they can do what they want. But I believe it. Yeah, I believe that they're doing that. While I'm sure the M Scaler will be good, its Achilles is the processing in real time. PGB does offline processing and processes the entire track with the optimum number of taps to reconstruct. I'll have to look into this. I don't know enough about it, Gene. I can't give you. Goodness me. Sorry I coughed, guys. I'm going to take some soda. Take this out of my system a little bit. Wow. A major cough in the background. I'm sorry if I blew your ears out. That's bad. I don't want to talk about this PGGB without knowing anything about it. I'm just going to be, you know, moving my mouth. And I'd rather have some informed discussion about it without me bringing it up. I'll let you bring it up all you want. I'll read what you write. But I can't add to the discussion much because I don't know enough about it. Fluxes 33 watts at 32 ohms per channel. Ukrainian tank. Oh, yeah, I'll have to look into it. We'll see what that is. I mean, obviously, I've got the Zale HM1 here, which I owe a review on. Still interested in some other amps to compare with it, and you know that $18,000 amp is sitting out there still. I can't even say its name today. It's gonna hurt me. You guys know it's the Mass Kobo. And that's the amp that everybody's like been targeting and looking at. But I'm like, I think that's a divorce amp for me. If I buy that, I'm getting divorced. Too much. HQP amp scaler are good streaming in real time, so both have their place. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He sent his mentor to a friend, but he can send it to me later if you'd like to try it. Hey man, I'll take it. Absolutely. I used both the M scaler and the HQ player. Hi boys, Nephilim. Cheers, brother. Welcome to the show. Getting into our final half hour here. I'll go get a walk in today. We still got some sunshine, but rain's on the way, I hear, in LA. So got to take advantage of these nice days. That would be great, Ryan. Howdy, Nephilim. I use this Roon Arc in the car. Works great. I got to look into that. How does Roon Arc work? And how is that something that you can use on a phone? I don't know. See Michael walking another police t-shirt. I know. Man. Yeah, this wasn't, to me, this was, this was the last Police album that they did, original Police album that they did. And I don't think it's their best. I think it's their most popular, but I don't think it's their best. I do enjoy certain tracks off of this, but part of it was King of Pain just got played. It was just so, and wrapped around your finger. Those got worn out. They just got worn out. Anyway, I'm still a huge Police fan. I love Sting's voice. All right, Nephilim. Guys, he's sending pics to Michael. He's changing his system around a bit. Going to call it Neph 2024. I like the dollar signs. The emoji. That's awesome. DJ Brobot. Okay. This is why good hi-fi is a good investment to enjoy now and sell when you need more money for other gear of life expenses. Yeah, I mean, just don't think that there's any such thing as a good investment as far as hi-fi. The idea behind an investment is to buy something that's going up in value, and all hi-fi, all of it is going down in value. Therefore, I would not call it an investment. But you can tell yourself that if it makes you feel better. It's an investment in the future. There isn't a thing out there that's appreciated. You got to hang on to it. I mean, there's way better ways to invest money than in hi-fi gear. But it is fun, and it's our passion, guys. You gotta have room for passion. Spend money on passions. That pains me, hipster cow. 4,100 on. I guess I can hold solace in that I've got the box and they're in mint condition. So maybe I'm gonna hope that $4,100 X9000 was beat up. God. Oh, that's painful. That's painful. There's a new Dave coming. Warren Buffett would have trouble paying for it. Yes. I mean, this stuff is just going way out there in price point. I think part of it is DCS driving the market. If I had to guess, they see what DCS can get for you know, their different DACs as you go up their product line, and maybe they're just thinking, hey, I want a piece of that action. I don't know. But a lot of it is proprietary. So, you know, Chord does proprietary stuff and they can charge what they want for it. DCS does proprietary stuff. You know, their ring DAC they're the only one making a ring DAC. So they can charge what they want if people are willing to pay it. And clearly people are, like me, idiot. Oh my God. Guys, why do we do this? Oh, Gene, you're hurting me, man. You're hurting me with your comment. Ouch. It's a dagger to the heart. Hopefully you didn't lose a ton on it. See, I don't have a real... The problem is I traded the... I got the X9000 for my Ferrum or Hypso stack plus... one other thing. One other headphone. Oh, the LCD5. So I probably overpaid. Welcome to my life. But it was such a cool trade. It was such a fun thing to trade for. So yeah, I'll probably lose money, like a ton on it. But this channel was built on losing money. That's what I do. Terrible STAX warranty. Buyer fears getting stuck. Stators are killing the market on them. I haven't heard anybody come on, like, nobody's reported to me that they've had a stuck stator, though, so I don't know. Money comes, money goes. Spend money on all sorts of things that have no return on investment. Cheers, brother. Eugene, we're in the same camp. I spend money all the time. Ferrum is partnering with Signalist to incorporate HQ filters. Just brilliant. Yeah, and then there's the Wanla now has a Golden Sound version. We were talking about that the other week. That incorporates some different things in the software as well, which I think are good ideas. That sounded like it was pretty cool. So don't know if it's $500 cool, but it sounded pretty cool to me. If you were into that, if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, filters, good things. Yes, we like them. Yes, please. Mscaler 2 with the Chord Cutis. Now that would be overkill. Yes. Agreed. The Cutis, I think, is about, what, $1,500, something like that. Gene says he considers any loss when selling equipment a rental lease on his ability to use it long term. Yes, and that's sort of the mental, you know, game that I play with it is, well, I got to do reviews and listen to this X9000 for a couple of months, and the price of it cost me like $1,000 to rent it. Was it worth it? No, but but I'm paying a rental fee for owning it, you know, and then I turn it over. That's what I do. Connects to your Roon server using cellular networks. As long as your Roon server is on and connected to the internet, it will work. So I'd have to leave my base system here, which I couldn't do. I mean, this computer that drives this thing, I've got the Mac Tower and 2 monitors, and I just watch the electric gauge spin, you know. If you put a flashlight on my electric meter, it's like a disco show because it's going so fast. It shoots laser beams all over. Oh, it's too funny. It's too fun, man. We're having too much fun today. But that's interesting tech. I think that's great that you can get Roon in the car. I finally have gotten to the point, I'm advanced enough where I now have Tidal in the car. Because of the iPhone integration, I finally figured out how to get my car to talk to through AirPlay properly, wirelessly. And I was having for months, I was having problems getting this phone to lock up, the new phone, to lock up with my car. But it is now, and it's working well. So I finally have been taking advantage of Roon. And what I did was I canceled my subscription to Sirius XM in the car because I think that the Sirius XM thing in the car, it's nice that they have channels dedicated to music that I like. But there's a lot of stuff in there that I'll never listen to that I'm paying for, you know, on some level. And the quality of SiriusXM is so bad. I put music on in there and in the car, and I can hear the compression. I can hear how crunched the music is to fit on their satellite system. And it's such a bad trade-off, man. It's such a bad trade-off. Oh, in my estimation. So I had called to cancel. I'd called them to cancel something at Sirius, and I got the runaround. And I was going online to try and shut things down. And I'm like, at first I was going to like just pare down, and they made it so hard to cancel my SiriusXM. I had to wait until a Monday to have a person on chat, to have a chat with somebody to get my SiriusXM canceled. I was furious. I'm like, you were going to keep some of my business. Now you're losing all of it. Because there's no reason in today other than you want to try and point out the value and get data from me on why I'm not using their service anymore. Forget it. I'm like, you're losing everything now. You had a chance, but your customer service sucked so bad that I'm pulling all my business. I don't care. I don't need any of it. There you go. We do have one car with SiriusXM, and it was a long-term. I purchased a yearly, multi-year plan for my wife because Mrs. Director likes her Broadway channel, and she doesn't like having to figure things out and using Tidal or anything like that. She just wants her SiriusXM, and that's fine with me. Keeps the wife happy, I'm happy. There you go. Happy wife, happy life, boys. My wisdom to you on a Wednesday. But that's really cool tech, Neil. That's really cool to hear that you have you can connect to your Roon server. Now, if I get that $500 nucleus at some point when it comes out, that makes sense. You know, that would be really cool to have access to all that stuff. Plus, you can integrate Tidal with it. It's awesome. It's a great way to go. I like the thinking, for sure. Michael, get the cheap Roon server and take your computer out of the streaming chain. Yeah. Well, like I said, that could very easily happen because I don't really use, other than for the main Roon node, the computer's not in. It's just the approval, you know, it's just where the signal goes to say, yes, he's got a Roon membership. It checks my computer. Everything else is done on my iPad. I control all my music from the iPad. So there you go. Let's go down. Nephilim, what do you got? My friends, music appreciation time. The band is Zombie. They are instrumental duo, heavily influenced by Goblin and Tangerine Dream. I know Tangerine Dream. I don't know Goblin. An awesome combination of things. Shapeshift, best album. Okay. Sounds good, Nephilim. I'll copy that down and take a listen. I'm not much on instrumental music. I like music that has vocals in it generally, but then again, I listen to jazz, and that doesn't have anything, so I probably should shut my mouth. I'm talking out the side of my neck again. That's good. I'm going to copy that over to a thing, though, so I can check it out. I always check out the stuff you guys recommend because I like to hear it. Very cool. Very cool. Zombie is the group, guys. ZOMBI, says Nephilim. That's in case you're just listening to this and not reading the chat along with it. His nucleus is tucked into his cable junction box in the garage. Haven't seen it in years. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is, I'll show it off because we got some time here, and we're gonna get off the air in a few, but no, that's not it. All right, here we go. So let me go to the Roon thing. And nucleus. So they have different types of nucleuses. But this new one is the Nucleus one. They have the Titan. I guess they have two of them. Okay. But the new one is this Nucleus one, and it's affordable. It is only $500 for this thing, and you can have a Roon Nucleus on your system. Now, I don't know what the difference is. I have to look up what the difference between the Titan series and this is. Clearly the Titan must do something more. Cutting edge technology? I don't know. But with a bunch of different shells. Ooh, you get shells with it? Well, wait, I got to buy it. No. You know, the difference is like $1,000 less for this Roon 1. And I think Roon must realize that people don't want to pay $1,500 for just a server, you know? And that makes, mentally, to me, it's like, you know, at $500, that gets attractive in a hurry. To have a node that just sits there and I don't have to leave my computer on to access it. One of the things I did to keep my system quieter was I transferred all of my music. All my music for years was living on a Drobo. Well, Drobo is 5 hard drives that are spinning, and it's noisy. So I transferred all of my Drobo stuff to, it's not to an SSD drive, not like this one. It's bigger than this, but it's it now hangs off of my computer. An SSD drive has all of my music. It's a couple of it's like 10 terabytes or something, which is plenty for 90%. You know, you're going to have a hard time filling that much in music. Not that hard in video, but in music, it's a sizable, big sizable chunk of space, disk space. But I've now transferred it over there, so I don't have to have the Drobo on anymore when I'm listening to tracks. It's all living on an SSD drive that's just plugged in the computer. Keeps the room much quieter. I still have to have one tower for my video drives if I'm editing a show like I'm in production now, and that's on in the room right now. But it's much quieter than the Drobo. The Drobo is a noisy box. There's a lot of fan whine from that. So I turn that off whenever possible. There's a use case for the Drobo that's very attractive, and that's backup and my photo storage, my photo library, which is, I have over 100,000 photos of stuff I've shot over the years. That lives on the Drobo because it's redundant drives, and a drive can fail and you just pop it out. In fact, I have 2 hard drives, brand new in package, ready to go whenever the next hard drive fails. I always have a drive sitting around, because the bearings wear out on them and they seize, and there's no use. They're disposable at that point. Just pull it out, put in another one. So I buy 2 of them in pairs. So I pull out 2 drives, and then it increases the storage capabilities of the Drobo when you increase the storage. So I have couple of, I don't even know what these are. How big are these things? 14 terabytes. I'm going to add 2 14 terabyte drives to the Drobo the next time a drive fails. Just up the space. And it's just because I have so much video for this show. I've done over 200 episodes, I think, and they're closing in on 200 episodes if it's not. So that's a ton of video that I've shot, because I shoot probably about an hour of video per episode, and then that gets cut down to 15, 20 minutes, half hour on the long end. So that's a lot of video, and that's a lot of video I have to save if I want to have the ability to rebuild the show for some reason. And I've had situations where I wanted to reference something I did before in a current episode, and to pull that clip, if I can pull it direct from the master, but it's got graphics and stuff integrated to it. If I want to get back to the raw and get a clean version of that, I've got to have the original file stored somewhere. So all that stuff goes in the Drobo. It lives, and then eventually I will also back it up onto external hard drives. I follow the rule of having 2 drives for my critical files. There's the Drobo and then a portable drive, plug-in drive, just to keep stuff redundant and backed up. It's my own thing. It's something I picked up when I was, younger. It's my own habit. Make sure I'm doing that. Howdy, Ace of Spades. Welcome to the show. I'm just about to wrap up because we're out of topics today. This was a wild drifting show. I didn't come in with an agenda. I didn't have anything to talk about. We didn't have new user photos, and we just kind of like wing. It was a total wing it day. We talked about some barbecue. Jim Bennett says, Jim, cheers, welcome. I don't remember your name seen here, so we'll raise a glass to you, my friend. What do you think of Odin's IEM after all this time? Are you talking about the Empire Ears Odin? I'm going to assume that's what you're talking about. They had great detail. I thought they had really nice detail. They were a little light in the bass for my tastes, and they were peaky in the upper mids, and I did a lot of stuff to tame them, and I tried using them in some different ways, and I got them to where I could enjoy them. But at the end of the day, I had the Sultan, and the Sultan to me was more in my lane for what I like. It was a smoothed over, little more smoothed over in the upper mids and treble, and with a huge fun bass punch that made them great for all sorts of music and just enjoyment. The Sultan is still my favorite IEM, and keep in mind I have not in front of me. Wait, yes, in front of me. I have a $4,500 Viking Ragnar here. And they're not my favorite IEMs. I think they're the most detailed and the most critical IEM I've ever heard. I think they are a technical marvel. It's just not something that a sound that I want to hear all the time. It becomes too much because there's so much detail coming out of these things. They are so lightning fast. It's maybe why, it's almost like I don't want to say it sounds like an electrostatic. It doesn't, but it's kind of the same principle behind the electrostatics. They're really sharp. They're super crisp. But that's not always the best thing. The fastest, the sharpest, it gives you, you really peer into the music, but it's like, I find myself using the Atrium from ZMF more and more, because it's like that perfect balance between hyper detail and great listening experience. And this week I've listened to a bunch of headphones. I've had a bunch of headphones out, and a new one coming next week for those of you coming in late. We've got something new to show off next week from our friends at Audio 46. Thank them. By the way, if you didn't know, I haven't talked about this in the live stream in a long time. You can go to Audio 46, and if you use the coupon code directorsgarage, all one word, you can knock an extra 5% off most of the stuff they have in stock. And when you're talking about a $2,500 or $3,000 item, that's some real money. And that's something that's just something they do for people who watch this show. And that's great. And then I get a small kickback on that. But it's more about like, save yourself some money. Go over there and use the coupon code and buy something you want. I just bought something from Audio 46 this week, pre-ordered. We'll see I'll show it off when it comes in. So yeah, the Odins, but getting back on track to your Odin question, yeah, the Odins they're really great. They have a lot of detail to them. They were just a little too much, and I bought them. I bought them and I had them for a long time, and then I sold them. They just wound up being a little too much for me. And I thought they were too sharp in the upper mids, lower treble region for my taste. But, you know, everybody here is different. Everybody likes something different. Aurora says, looks like maybe this message didn't send earlier, but we're running a tour of our headphones on the Hi-Fi Guides forum. Well, that's cool. Awesome. So if you guys want to get an Aurora's audio sent to you for investigation, go over to the Hi-Fi Guides forum and check that out. I've never been to the Hi-Fi Guides forum, but, you know, you can do that. And get on a list. Ace of Spades just got back from a week in St. George. Zion is absolutely wonderful. Hey, did you bring some headphones with you? What'd you bring, Ace of Spades? What came with you on that journey? What'd you choose? I always want to know. Jarek says, hey, everyone. Cheers, Jarek. Good to see you. Oh, God, the Ragnar made of Damascus steel. My God, how cool is that? Yeah. Oh, these are a feat. These are a feat and an amazing headphone. It's just, for what I like, the Sultan was it for me. The Sultan is more like, and it's cheaper headphone, so bonus, but still not a cheap headphone by any means. I just love the way those things sounded to this day. So there you go. Rodrigo, he's on late. Hey man, I just plugged Audio 46. Cheers, brother. So good. And stay tuned. You get some Audio 46 action next week, it looks like. So a full thing coming for them. But yeah, Rodrigo, you just missed my plug. I actually took time on the live stream and did you guys a plug. Those guys and Norn. I forgot the guy's name again. Trevor from Norn. Oh, man. We have a red-tailed hawk that's in the neighborhood, and he just flew in. He's so beautiful. Not into the house. I saw him fly into a tree right out my door. I have a big, huge, beautiful tree-lined view here. It's gorgeous. Anyway, when I see that hawk, it catches my attention. So beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous bird. Anyway, just wrapping up here, getting set. But yeah, Rodrigo, sorry, man. But hey, you got it. I got you guys a plug this week. Hey, and hit the thumbs up. This is the JTB gets on me. Hit the thumbs up on this for the like of the stream. I never ask anybody to do that. This is so fun. My little shameless plugging at the end of the live stream. Yeah, we're just wrapping up here. I covered nothing of substance today. It was just chatting about. Ace Spade says LE600 and the iFi Go Blue and the iFi Hip DAC 3 left all his headphones at home. Well, awesome, man. That's awesome. Good for you. That sounds like a good travel rig. Good setup for travel. So says Nephilim. We agree with that. Have you heard about the Solitaire TNA Solitaire T yet? He's thinking about those or the Dolly IO12. These are amps, correct? Are these integrated amps? I gotta look it up. Oh, T A audio. What's it called? The Solitaire. T. Sorry, I only have one finger to type because I can't do the stretch. It's going to tear my shoulder up. Solitaire T. Oh, it's a headphone. Very cool. No, I have not heard them, but you know what? I mean, I have, for my wireless over ears, very curious about what Noble does with their new over ear. That's exciting to me. I want to check that out. But the Dolly, I haven't heard the Dolly either. These are wireless over ears. Oh, I probably should go back to that. Hang on a second. Let's show that off real quick. Okay, these are the Solitaires. They're a wireless TNA headphone. And TNA does such good stuff with their amps and integrated amps. I got to think they're going to be fairly righteous. I like the folding thing that they're doing. Let's check that out. Look at that. That's neat. Like that arrangement. I've seen that a couple times, but I like it. Oh. No, I'm not going to say first order. Yeah, good luck, Audio 46. I just ordered something yesterday. So fun. Or today, maybe even. I can't remember. Rodrigo, you got a sale, new sale from Director's Garage. And what was the other one? The Dolly? 012, here we go. It's both. And by the way, Rodrigo says that the Dolly is the way to go. I don't know these headphones, so I'm going to have to take your word for it. Wow. I like the looks of the other one better, Rodrigo. TNA looks better to me. But you're saying for sound, go with the Dolly. Okay. I have the Focal Batiste that I use when it comes to the wireless thing. I like them. I like them a lot. I think they're good. But maybe these are replacements or challengers to the Champion. I don't know. Neil says, what exactly do you do for a living? You asking me? I'm a director. I'm a television director. And I work for a show called Entertainment Tonight. So I do that all the time. Anyway, I'm always working during the day, and I do this show when I feel like it. I'm kidding. This is my passion. Passion side hustle, we call it. I'm trying to be a little more careful about not losing money on this show the way I have the last couple of years. Last year, I think this show dumped $30,000. Lost. It's not good. Profit and loss sheet not looking good, guys. Okay. JTV says, tip your waiters and waitresses. Oh, wrong stream. And lap dance girls. Yeah, JTB, that's over on OnlyFans, sir. It's spelled ONLYFANS. How do you spell relief? Ace of Spades says new subs from RSL for $300. Model's a 10E. That's a subwoofer. Not subscribers. I haven't gotten any subscribers. He's currently, Jarek says he's currently using the Sennheiser Momentum 4 over-ear. He's happy, but he wants an upgrade. Yeah, well, it sounds like all those are significant upgrades from the Momentum. These pads are more comfortable. Okay. The pads look like a Wendy's burger. They're square. Actually, that reminds me of the headphone, HEDD phone. When they did the square thing. Dolly O2s look like they copied Bowers and Wilkins' design pretty hardcore. Yeah, they do. Exactly. That's a good call. But comfortable and great sound. Okay, I'm taking your word for it. Where do you get your bed background music? He loves it and wants more. You can go to, it should be in the description of this episode. Let's double check. I'm just going to make sure it's down there. I got to go check it out. Last couple guys, and I'm going to go get my walk in and maybe eat some dinner or something veggie. This is my channel. Hang on. Live. Oh, this is going to be trippy. Okay, I got the audio turned off. That's good. Show more. Yes, if you go down in the link in the description, there's a music. It's right near the bottom of in the description, and that will get you to the company. The company's called Epidemic Sound, and there is a referral link there. So I get something if you decide to join. It's yours. But I subscribe to Epidemic Sound because it's royalty-free music, and for I think it's $15 a month, I can play anything from their library I want on YouTube, and I've officially licensed their music. So the music that I go through their library about once every 6 months, and I listen for stuff that interests me. They have all kinds of music, everything from classical to jazz to pop, hip hop, all of it. They have everything on Epidemic Sound, and you can try anything you want. I tend to go for odd. My taste is odd. I look for odd music. I have a bin in my the bin that gets used most in my editing app. I use DaVinci Resolve to cut the show together, and I have a bin called Quirky. And I use that a lot. And I also have downloaded stuff that sounds really like 50s jazz to me, like that good bebop 50s stuff. And so that's what makes it into most of my shows. But it's stuff that I went through their servers and identified stuff that I like, and then I download it locally and I can drop it into the show. And then for the live stream, I've transferred it all to I've transferred some select tracks over to the laptop, and they just kind of loop. You'll notice that some stuff repeats after like an hour or so. It sort of loops back on itself. But that's all. It's all Epidemic Sound, and there's a link down there in the description. And if you want to help the show, go ahead and click that, or you can click any of the links down there to take you to Amazon, and then buy anything you want. It doesn't have to be the thing that you link to, but the show gets, and it doesn't cost anything extra. It's just the show gets a little kickback, and it's small, guys. It's like 1 or 2% or something of your sale. Amazon sends me a payment from. So if you click on, like down here, I have Amazon link to the Blackmagic Design Ursa Mini Pro, or the RX100, or some of this stuff. These may be dead links even, I don't know, because some of this stuff is pretty old now. But you click over to that and go to Amazon and do your regular shopping, and whatever you buy, we get a little kickback from. It's no big deal. Okay, guys, hope you have a terrific Easter long weekend for those who celebrate it. It is time off work. That means more headphone time. So yeah, Jesus rose from the dead. Amen. Peace. Hey, have a happy Easter. I'm going to be working on. I'm going to see my mom on Friday. I'm going to go drive out to her. That's a 3-hour drive, round trip. But I should have the next episode out. I've got the A-roll cut together. I'm about to go through and sort of tweak it and shorten it and pull out some redundant stuff. And, but then I'll be on to the music, and should have no problem getting an episode to you guys, hopefully next Tuesday, barring unforeseen circumstances as always. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for me today. And I'm sorry I didn't have anything more substantial or planned for today. This was a true hangout. Meaning we had nothing to discuss and we just kind of shot the shit for an hour. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tip your waiters and waitresses on your way out the door. Make sure you recycle all of those beer bottles. And yeah, I got to get the outro music going, but I will see you guys before you know it. Cheers, everyone. Get me off the air.